knew it was eventually going to happen. It finally happened today. Hell of a game. Fly Eagles fly, but the Eagles finally fall. First loss of the season. Fall 4-1 after losing to the Denver Broncos, 21-17. A lot of things to digest and unpack. As always, is the Blunt Talk Sports podcast coming to you with the live stream fresh after the game. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. Also, if you guys are looking to get out, tickets to any of these NFL games, especially a lot of these Eagles games, definitely check the description box for the link in this video to StubHub tickets. Also, if you're looking for links to PlayStation, you're trying to get your gaming on, chilling in the house before it gets real cold, definitely check that out as well. PlayStation, more than a game. So, hopping right into it, guys. What a fucking game. As it has been for the Eagles throughout this season, it's been a tale of two halves. You've gone into the last, excluding the Rams game, the past few games, you've had a very good first half for the Eagles offense, very methodical game plan. Everything's put together. You knew going into this week, a lot of the game plan was going to be designed to get AJ Brown the ball, get Smitty the ball, figure out how in the hell we were going to incorporate these guys, back into the offense and just look like a semblance of what we've seen Philadelphia look like during this tenure and this, this run with this iteration of devontasmith and AJ Brown and Jalenhurts and, pre Saquon Barkley, and then now with Saquon. This is the thing that I've been startled by. Watching this game, a lot of times people watch football and they think, oh, it's a bad call. Oh, it's a dude just jumping off sides. It all amounts to what I'm equivocating ultimately is it all amounts to the little things. When you're a football team that has been used to winning, you've been on a dominant stretch. And they kept talking about it the whole game. I've said it, in the preview video, which I implore you guys to definitely check out. If you haven't, if you've seen this live stream, definitely check out the preview video. A lot of things that I talked about, I said in the game would possibly happen. Now, I thought the Eagles would win this game 24-21. They lost 21-17. So it was a close game. The Eagles definitely could have won it, but a lot of blown opportunities. First and foremost, I don't want to hear any talk about Jalen Hurts throwing the football. I think that's been kind of like, shut the fuck up for at least a week. 23 of 38, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, average 7 yards per attempt. He got sacked 6 times, which I'll get into the offensive line play because I think that is a dire issue that needs to be addressed. But ultimately, you like how Jalen played, efficient, smart football, didn't put the ball in precarious situations, so no arguments there. Having said that, the offense, Saquon not really getting it going again. 6 carries, 30 yards. He had 5 yards of carry, but he only had to touch the ball 6 times. So there was really an emphasis on the Eagles to really throw the football. Obviously, like I said, devontasmith's 8 catches, 114 yards. Smitty could have won this game for us. Smitty could have won this game for us. Now, Saquon obviously scored a receiving touchdown. He didn't have the rushing stats to back him up, but passing the ball today was the name of the game. It was the menu. It was what was on the menu. It was what the doctor ordered. It was what was going to be essentially what was going to get the Eagles the key to this victory today. It did not happen for a lot of different reasons. But I want to make sure before I get into all that, shout out to the Denver Broncos. Hell of a fucking game. Played it to the wire. We're getting their ass kicked, down by 2 scores. Fought back, got the lead. Gutsy call by Sean Payton to get that 2-point conversion and score right there. Adding some pressure to the Eagles offense. And again, you go back to that sequence because I could talk about the whole game, but I really want to go to that sequence right there. When they get the 2-point conversion, at that point, they're up 18-17. They've scored 15 unanswered points in 5 minutes. That's a failure on your defense. Now, it's also a failure on your offense because your offense is not getting the necessary drives to ensure that, they're not going 3 and out consistently. The offense just didn't do that today. They look like shit. At points and periods, they look like shit. And you're going to have that in the NFL. And especially with this offense, you're going to have that at times. But today was one of those days where you had it at the worst of times. After that, you get downfield. You couldn't move the ball. You had penalties. Things aren't going in your favor. You convert a big 4th down. I believe it was a 4th and 6. I have to check the game book to be exact. But you convert a big 4th and 6. You get that first down. devontasmith's going off, having a hell of a game, like I stated with the stat line that he had, having the game that he had. This game was right for the taking. And you get another pre-snap penalty. I do believe when I was counting before the game, I have to check when I do the full recap video, but I do believe I counted 5 pre-snap penalties for the Eagles, which is just fucking ungodly and uncommon. It's a situation where, honest to God, truth, I just hope, pardon me for that, guys. I just hope that the Eagles can rectify this offensive line issue. This is something that's not going to go away. The offensive line has not played well. A lot of it's been through injury. You know, probably shouldn't have let go of Makai back then, but you probably wouldn't have been able to retain some of those guys that you want down the line. Be that as it may, your offensive line is in flux. You have a ton of injuries. You have a situation where Landon Dickerson, the offensive line is gelling, playing well. You get Lane Johnson back. Dickerson goes down with that knee injury again. How long he's going to be down, I don't know, but it clearly, that knee is a thing. It's clearly going to be an issue throughout the year. I loved how, the defense played in the first half, but the defense failed this team in the second half. I mean, going into the box score numbers, go here, guys. And as always, like I said, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Go here in the box score numbers. Defense. I mean, first of all, you had 6 sacks for Denver. I mean, you got 6 sacks. Philly only had 2. So that just gives you an instance right there of how dire the situation is. Philly has got to fix his offensive line. If this offensive line can't block at least halfway decently like they have, Philly's going to be in trouble. Now, again, you're only 4-1. You're 2-1 at home. That's your first loss at home in roughly a year. So you could have lost to a worse team. You could have played a worse game. But it's always the little things that catch up with you and put you in precarious situations that can cost you games and fuck you over in the end. The Eagles, no doubt, should have had this game. Like, after devontasmith converted that 4th down, you get that illegal shift on Tyler Steen. You got a punt. Broncos get the ball. They're able to drive downfield, get in position. They're in position now. Now they're making plays to where all they got to do is score a touchdown or a field goal. I mean, touchdown, even then it wouldn't have essentially been over, but they put themselves in a situation where they had the power in their hands. Philly gets the ball back. I'm sitting with my son watching it. I'm like, there's no way in hell the Eagles are going to get downfield in enough time. You get the penalty, Dallas Goedert. I mean, I want to say it was the safety was Franklin. I forget who the safety was, but essentially the safety you get the pass interference. Goddard gets down there. They get in a situation where they get downfield. You get another PI call, and I don't know if the ref just wanted to swallow the whistle. I don't know, but like, you clearly called on the play before. It happened egregiously again the second time, and nothing was called. Wacky shit, bang bang plays. That's sometimes how you got to chalk it up. That's what it is. Essentially, though, Philly can't make excuses. They had this game in hand. They blew it. And hopefully they learn from this. I mean, this is something that you got to let sting for a little bit because you had it. You were this close from stealing it. And you shouldn't have stole it. You should have won it outright like you were doing for 3 quarters, but because you fucked around and fucked around and fucked around, you allowed the team to stay in the game. So it just put Philly in a bad situation. And then of course the deep ball, deep shot. I mean, probably the most exciting play and tantalizing and nerve-wracking play of the game. You get the deep ball, deep into the end zone. Smitty and AJ in the same spot. I mean, Smitty damn near had to catch twice, and then defensive back, I think it was Safunga, slaps the ball away. Ball game at that point. So, Broncos definitely did what they were supposed to win the game, but we've got to clean up these issues. Penalties were a major fucking factor. I'm going to look here to get a full synopsis of what the penalty yardage look like. I mean, there you go. Now, the Broncos had more penalties, ironically. They had 12 for 121. Some of their penalties obviously were pass interference, PI penalties, but 9 penalties for 55 yards. And I've said this before. When the Eagles are a heavily penalized team, they put themselves in very precarious situations to lose football games. This was one of those situations where the Eagles definitely had this game in hand, shouldn't have blown it. You outrushed them. You didn't even outrush them. Excuse me. You completely threw the ball all over the field. You were getting the ball spread around. Even on your third down attempts, looking at the third down conversions, you didn't really do that great. It really came down to, you were 2 of 11 on third down. That's another key thing too. Not winning that third down battle. That's what also cost this team. So Philly has got to figure out some things. I do believe, like I said, looking at their schedule next week, I do believe that the Eagles play the Giants next week. I have to take a look. Give me 1 second here. I'm actually on NFL.com now. Yeah, but like I said, it's one of those things where you don't really know going into how they're going to be able to fix all these issues because a lot of these issues are injury related. Some of these are probably not going to be able to be addressed right away. However, you're going to have to figure something out because yeah, you're 4-1, but you won't have a great record for long if you can't get these offensive line issues addressed. Okay, so yeah, you gotta jump right back around from this game, this grueling game Sunday. You got a Thursday night game against who? The New York Giants. And why the New York Giants, guys? Why the Giants? Why the Giants? So, sorry about that. Damn videos and ads. My apologies. But you got to worry about the Giants. And why the Giants? Giants are playing damn good football now that Jackson Dart's playing. Jackson Dart's in there. They look like a completely different football team. I don't know if they won today. I have to take a look. I know they were beating New Orleans. No, New Orleans won. New Orleans won the game 26-14. So, but they have life now. Philly should still win that game, but playing sloppy, playing as they did today will definitely cost you. Definitely sucks. Definitely sucks. Philly should have had it. But, ultimately, again, they have to learn from this. You have to play a better solid game. You have to play a better game, period. Because, in all honesty, you beat Denver, you win this Giants game, you're in the driver's seat. You're talking about 6-0, in the middle of October. So, good thing that they got the loss out the way now, though, because it was starting to give me 2023 vibes. Wasn't really feeling that shit. Now, granted, this year is different. You got the same defensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator, but got to get those things ironed out. I think the identity is real simple. They're going to try to pass because of the way the running game is this year and the way that the offensive line has been injured. You're probably going to have to throw the ball a little bit more this year. And I think they've been possibly playing a lot more conservative, like I've stated in previous videos, probably playing a lot more conservative to make sure that the ball is not being turned over a lot, playing smart football. But now it's a situation where you threw the ball around a lot. You completed the ball for a lot of good completions, had deep shots, 57-yard completion, another deep completion that got taken away for a penalty. And you couldn't run the ball really to save yourself. I mean, you had 6 rushes for 30 yards. Essentially, Saquon was more effective in the passing game than he was in the running game today. So, got to get things tightened up. But that's going to do it for this live stream. I'm going to get some fucking sleep because I got to get to work in a couple hours. And as always, got to get some more content in. So, I'll definitely have another video coming up for you guys and some more stuff generating tomorrow. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys. Again, fly Eagles fly. Tough loss today, but definitely a bounce back. Got the New York Giants on Thursday Night Football. And I will have a preview video prepared for you guys. Definitely in store for that. Take care and enjoy the rest of your weekend.